All right, so here we go. Each of these babies packs about 5 grams of carbohydrates, 6 to 7 grams of protein, about 6-7 grams of saturated fat from coconut oil. These are probably the simplest, tastiest ever. You can add a little bit of sugar, honey when you make it, but continue to watch the video and I'll show you how to make them. They are delicious. In future videos, I'm going to show you how to make these things from scratch. All right, everybody, so we're going to make some awesome, healthy blueberry muffins here. Also, I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor. I am just a regular person, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. But if you want to have a physique like this, whether you're wearing this apron or not, you should watch this video. And trust me, you're going to learn a lot. You will learn so much just from this one video. So stay around, make sure to subscribe, like the video, share it, please. Any kind of support helps. I'm trying to share as much as I can. But we're going to save a lot of money from this video too, because I'm going to tell you how you can get this stuff cheaper. So we're going to start putting it together. So we're going to go ahead and mix in the blueberry muffin mix first. Okay. Now the only other things you really need on it is coconut oil, eggs, and water. But since we have frozen blueberries and wet blueberries, we don't want to put a bunch of water in there because it'll get too wet. We also don't want to put too much coconut oil in there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and measure out this. Make sure we put the right amount in here. There's 1/3 cup. Drop that in there. We've got 3 eggs. Then we're going to go ahead and stir it up now with the well, I'm going to have to pull out the old guy. Now we haven't added the water yet. We're going to go ahead and add that. We're not going to add too much because, like I said, we're going to be adding the blueberries, so we're only going to add like maybe a 1/8 cup or a 1/4 cup, not a ton. And then we're going to go ahead and add the blueberries in there too. Oh, I totally forgot. I need to preheat the oven. Get that going. We're going to preheat it to 400 because you have to cook it a little bit hotter in the beginning to brown the top. So if you've noticed, if you're at muffins and you have issues where those muffins end up turning out white or they don't brown, it's because you're not cooking it hot enough in the beginning probably, or you're just following the instructions and they're mildly cooking it. But I mean, this is getting pretty good here, because once I add those blueberries, that's going to give it a little bit more liquid. But we're going to go ahead and add in a scoop, probably 1.5 scoops just because I'm greedy, of protein. We're going to have to add a little bit more water to help with the protein, because the protein is going to for sure dry it out. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause this, but we're going to add a little bit more water and get this going, and then put the blueberries in and throw it in the oven. Okay, so now we got this all mixed up. We got the protein in it. We got all the stuff in it. We're gonna add the blueberries now. So I've got these frozen blueberries that I'm gonna put on top because it just makes them cook better, I think. And then I've got these other blueberries that I thawed that I'm gonna throw in the mix here. And so there's not a bunch I'm throwing in here, probably a couple dozen, 30 maybe, 40. because there's very low sugar. So, and I got to be careful when I do this because it'll break the blueberries. So I'm going to use these instead. And we're going to kind of toss it. Toss these blueberries. Show them who's boss. Make sure to like, subscribe to the video. It's free, helps me, and I can teach you more stuff. Stuff like the fact that almond flour is the main ingredient in this, and that you can basically buy it for 25 cents an ounce at like Costco or on Amazon, and that these things are like doubled in price now, whereas if you buy almond flour raw and you mix the ingredients in yourself, it costs about a third, if not 5 times less than buying the packaged stuff. So that's something kind of cool, and we're going to do later on. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to use this package and try to make muffins. And it's got similar ingredients, a little bit different, not really the blueberry stuff in it, but we're going to modify it to how we want, and then we're going to go ahead and make some too. So now we got all those blueberries in there. We don't want to put a ton in because, man, it could really ruin a muffin too if you put too many in there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get these babies ready, and we're going to start tossing them in here. Okay, so I'm going to pause it so we can get through this part. All right, so we've got these good to go, and we're going to go ahead and throw these blueberries on top now, and we're just going to, put them however we want, because these are our muffins, and we can do whatever we want. I'm going to pause it. Come on. Okay, we're ready to go. We're going to go ahead and throw these in, and we're going to keep an eye on them so we don't burn them. So we're just going to run at 400 in the beginning, get them to kind of raise up a little bit, and then we're going to drop it back down to about 325 to 350 and run it for about 10-15 minutes after that, just keeping an eye on it until we get the perfect muffin. So stay tuned because these are going to look beautiful. So we're going to throw it in the middle of the rack in the oven. We're going to put our timer on for 5 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. That's all we got to do. So we'll be back and let you know how we look. So we're just going to go ahead and put stuff away. Got about 2 more minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and turn it down. So it changes depending on how big your muffins are. If they're big, it's going to take a little longer, and you actually might have to turn it up higher depending on if those muffins were meant to be, baked at 400, which they probably weren't, but it just depends, because if they're smaller, like, they can burn, so you got to keep an eye on it. So we're going to use the oven line on the front and just watch them raise up a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and change it to the regular temperature that it shows in the directions. Alright, so you can see in there, they're raised up a little bit. It's been going for about 5 minutes, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it back down to where it needed to be at 350 or 325, whatever you choose, and then just keep an eye until they're brown and they're raised up. I'm going to go ahead and pause it, and then I'll show you guys the finished product. Again, thanks for watching. Alright, they're looking pretty good. All right, we're gonna get them now, and I'm just gonna cut these here and